Nobody saw this coming, not the fans, nor the cast, and certainly not Rashida. In the most recent jaw-dropping episode of Love and Hip Hop, things took a dark, unexpected turn when murmurs surfaced became full-blown discoveries. The drama that occurred on film left viewers dumbfounded as one name fell. A kid, a child Kirk Frost allegedly kept concealed. And the moment the truth began to surface, the tension inside the room might have broken glass. Producers sought to deflect the subject elsewhere. Cast members shuffled uneasily in their chairs. Harm had been done. One castmate, plainly fed up, finally voiced what everyone others was scared to. "You honestly thought this secret would stay hidden forever?" gasped stillness, then mayhem. The most surprising moment wasn't the announcement, but Rashida's face. Her entire countenance froze, and the room zoomed in, capturing that brief second of grief. Fans watching from home expressed their shock on social media, with one person writing, "Please tell me this isn't happening." Yet it was, and this was just the beginning. What occurs next will make you doubt all you thought you knew about Kirk Frost, Rashida, and the reality behind their so-called love story. Kirk Frost's life had reached a point of total turmoil. What had began as a typical day rapidly became a controversy that would upset not only his family, but the whole entertainment business. When the truth about his hidden child was uncovered, everything changed. The news of Kirk Frost's secret child broke in front of millions, and the person who most impacted was none other than his wife, Rashida. This unexpected revelation sent ripples of bewilderment through everyone. What followed was a series of events that no one saw coming. Rashida, a lady who had spent her whole life Kirk Frost, was left in complete shock and astonishment when she realized the truth. Her world, which she thought was solid and founded on trust, began to shatter right before her eyes. She couldn't believe that her husband, the man she had supported for years, had been keeping such a significant secret from her. Her emotions ran wild, and it was evident to everyone that this was the most terrible blow of her life. The other hand felt imprisoned. With the news now out in the open, there was no way to erase the damage. He had always imagined that he could keep this secret from coming to light, but now with Rashida staring at him with hurtful eyes and confused, he had no option but to face the music. "Rashida, it's not what you think," he cried, trying to explain himself. "I never wanted you to find out. This way, it's complex, and I didn't know how to tell you." But Rashida, wounded by the treachery, couldn't keep back her feelings. "Call this you have a child, a hidden child, and you've been concealing it from me all this time." Her voice quivered with rage and amazement, her eyes welling up with tears. "Kirk Frost, after everything we've gone through, you withheld this from me." Her words ripped through the air as Kirk Frost stood there powerless with no reaction, argument that could make the situation any better. The truth was, there was nothing he could say to undo the hurt he had caused. The revelation didn't just affect Kirk Frost and Rashida. Shock waves across the whole cast and crew. Jasmine Blue, a crucial part of the program, was one of the first to remark on the issue. "Jasmine is recognized for her. Honestly, I'm not shocked," she remarked. "I always sensed something wasn't right. It was only a matter of time until this came out." Jasmine's revelation shocked everyone. The way she talked so matter-of-factly made it appear as if she had it created even more doubts. Had she been aware of this secret for a long time? And if so, why hadn't she revealed anything sooner? Meanwhile, the fans blaming Ibra for the new drama flocked to social media in droves. Twitter was inundated with replies. Many fans expressed amazement and fury. One fan, "If this is true, Kirk Frost will have a lot to explain to his family. They deserve better." Another fan added, "This isn't just about the show anymore, it's about real life. Kirk Frost has a lot to answer for." The reaction on social media was intense, and it was evident that the story was spreading like wildfire. Kirk Frost felt the weight of his secret being exposed and couldn't help but wonder if things would have gone out differently. If he had informed Rashida sooner, maybe I should have told her, he thought to himself. Maybe I should have come clean, but I was afraid of how she would respond. Did not want to lose her. As the days passed, Rashida tried to digest what had occurred. Her world had been destroyed, and she didn't know how to move on. She kept repeating the scenes in her mind, trying to grasp. How had her husband hidden such a significant secret from her? She pondered, why didn't he trust me enough to share this with me? The emotional toll on Rashida was evident. She was heartbroken, furious, and bewildered all at once. She felt betrayed by the one person she trusted the most. She had always believed that she and Kirk Frost were partners, that they were a team. But suddenly everything seemed like a lie. I don't know how to look at him the same way again, she confessed to a close friend. Kirk Frost, despite the enormous remorse he felt, realized he had to try to make things right. He went out to Rashida, attempting to explain his actions. Rashida, please, he implored. I know I messed up, I know I hurt you, but I need you to understand that I never meant to harm you. This whole situation is confusing, and I didn't know how to remedy it. But Rashida was not ready to hear him out. No, Kirk Frost, she screamed. You don't get to make excuses. You've been hiding this from me for years, and now I have to deal with the repercussions. I suppose I can just forgive you for this. The tension between them was apparent, and it was clear that things would never be the same. The couple's relationship had been tested in ways it had never been before, and the journey recovery appeared long and unclear as additional facts of the incident started to surface. Jasmine, who had been open about her opinions on the subject, proceeded to stir the pot. She claimed to have known about the hidden kid long before it was discovered, and she even went so far as to say that Kirk Frost had been hiding more than just one secret. There is more to this than just the youngster, Jasmine indicated. Trust me, you guys have no idea what's really going on behind the scenes. Her words drove fans into a frenzy. What more secrets Kirk Frost hiding? What else had been kept from the public view? The drama involving Kirk Frost and Rashida was far from done, and it appeared that there were more disclosures on the horizon. But for now, Kirk Frost and Rashida were at a crossroads. The future of their relationship hung in the balance, and no one knew what would happen next. Will they be able to work through this and repair their marriage, or is this the end of the road for them? The days after Kirk Frost's hidden kid was revealed were packed with a rush of emotions. The family, viewers, and everyone engaged in the drama were attempting to digest what had just transpired. For Kirk Frost and Rashida, the weight of the secret was now too heavy to ignore. Kirk Frost, who had previously been the cornerstone of Rashida's universe, now stood before her as a stranger, a man she could no longer trust. The discovery had broken away the basis of their marriage, and now everything was hanging in the balance. Kirk Frost's guilt was stifling. He'd attempted to find the appropriate words to apologize to Rashida, but every time he opened his mouth, it felt like the space between them became even wider. The damage was done. He could see it in her eyes, the sorrow, anger, and disbelief. She had every right to be upset, but Kirk couldn't help but worry if things would ever be the same. Could his marriage survive something like this? Meanwhile, Rashida was dealing with her own feelings. She was angry, sad, and devastated all at once. She had given so much of herself to Kirk Frost, and now she felt betrayed in the worst manner. How could you do this to me, Kirk Frost? She asked, her voice trembling with emotion. How could you keep something so significant from me? I trusted you. Rashida's comments hit Kirk Frost like a punch in the gut. He had never seen her like this before. She was a strong woman who had always been by his side no matter what. But suddenly, in the aftermath of the betrayal, she was devastated. He could see the sorrow in her eyes, and it was painful. Rashida, I never meant for this to happen. He said, his voice barely above a whisper. I never wanted to harm you. I was terrified. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I could shield you from all of this. But Rashida wasn't buying it. She wasn't interested in excuses anymore. She had heard enough. You think you can protect me by withholding the truth from me, keeping me in the dark all these years? She shook her head, her wrath growing. No, Kirk Frost, this isn't about protection. It's about treachery. The weight of the issue became evident to everyone involved as it got more intense. Fans were also waiting with held breath to see what would happen next. The news had gone global, and everyone had an opinion. Social media was swamped with comments, jokes, and emotions from fans who couldn't believe what they were watching. Some were Team Kirk Frost, praising his behavior and arguing that he should be given a chance to redeem himself. Solidly on Rashida's side, expressing their fury at Kirk Frost's falsehoods and deception. One fan wrote, "Kirk Frost can't come back from this. He lost all credibility with Rashida and the fans. He's done." Another fan commented, "Rashida deserves more than this. She's already gone through so much. This is too much for her." Handle. Rashida received tremendous support, and it was evident that the public was not sympathetic to Kirk Frost. But Kirk Frost wasn't the only one feeling the heat. Jasmine Blue, who had been vociferous about the matter since the beginning, was suddenly finding herself at the focus of even more controversy. After hinting at knowing more about the hidden child, she continued dropping further bombshells that stunned fans. "You think this is the worst of it?" Jasmine hinted during an interview. "You have no idea what's really happening on behind the scenes. Kirk Frost's life is more than simply a child. There are secrets that know." Jasmine's cryptic remarks stoked the fires of conjecture. Fans were now wondering what else Kirk Frost had been hiding. What other secrets did he have? Was there more drama in store for Rashida? The tension Rasha was battling to hold it together as the betrayal weighed heavily on her and made it impossible for her to focus on anything. She spent most of her days in seclusion trying to comprehend the agony. The love she had previously had for Kirk Frost was now tainted with bitterness, and she didn't know if she could ever look at him the same. Rashida revealed to her closest friends, "I don't even know who you are anymore. The man I thought I knew was gone. All of this has shattered everything." Despite her anguish, she felt she needed to make some decisions. She couldn't keep living in limbo. Unable to trust her own spouse, she began to doubt everything about her connection with him, future, and the life she had made with Kirk Frost. "What sort of life is this?" she questioned aloud. "Can I ever trust him again?" As the days went by, the repercussions intensified. The media was relentless, scrutinizing every step Kirk Frost and Rashida did. The drama became a trending issue, and people couldn't get enough of it. Kirk Frost, feeling besieged, began to out to his family and friends for assistance. "I need help," he confided to a close friend. "I don't know how to repair this. I've made a major mistake and now everything is falling apart." But the path Rashida was still digesting her feelings, and she wasn't ready to forgive Kirk Frost just yet. She knew that trust couldn't be restored overnight, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to try at all. "You've done too much damage," she remarked one day, her voice shaking with passion. "I don't know if I'll ever forgive you." Kirk Frost was left with a harsh reality. The woman he loved, the woman he had spent so many years with, was doubting everything. The future of their relationship was doubtful, and Kirk Frost didn't know whether he could make things right. He had lost Rashida's confidence, and now he had to deal with the repercussions. As the drama progressed, additional revelations emerged that added Kirk Frost's hidden kid was merely the tip of the iceberg. As more individuals probed into his background, more secrets appeared to surface. What more was Kirk Frost hiding, and how far would Rashida go? To unearth the truth, the emotional roller coaster was far from done. With each new revelation, the stakes rose higher. Would Kirk Frost and Rashida's marriage survive this scandal, or was this the end of their journey together? Friends, family, and the media alike were all on edge waiting for the next twist in this epic drama. As the dust began to clear, Kirk Frost found himself stranded in a storm of public scrutiny. The hidden child was just the beginning of his issues, and he quickly understood that the media was not going to let him off the hook anytime soon. The stories kept swirling, each one more sensational. Rashida's confidence, the fundamental cornerstone of their marriage, had been destroyed, and the emotional harm was far from healed. Rashida's grief seemed to intensify with the exposure. She spent sleepless nights mulling over every event in her memory, wondering how she had missed all the indications and allowed herself to be so surprised by her emotions were overpowering. And even though she had always been a strong woman, she felt like she was losing herself. The truth of her predicament was difficult to take. The guy she loved the most, the father of her children, had lied to her for years, keeping the mystery of another kid concealed. "I gave you everything," Kirk Frost. She wept to him in one of their rare but passionate discussions. "I supported you. I built with you and you done this to me. I don't even know you anymore." The anger in her voice was clear, but it was tinted with a deep sadness that pierced through her words. Kirk Frost, now desperate for a chance at atonement, was torn. He wanted to explain, repent, and somehow make things right, but he didn't know how. Rashida's eyes remained cold, and words sliced through him like a blade. The shame he felt for betraying her was immense, but he also knew that no amount of apologies could heal the harm he had caused. He had shattered something irreversibly, and the person I didn't want to upset you, Rashida. Kirk Frost murmured, his voice barely audible and full of guilt. "I thought that if I kept it from you, I could protect." Rashida's reaction was curt, with a trace of anger in her tone. "She protected me by lying to me and making judgments without my knowledge. How could that possibly protect me, Kirk Frost? I deserve better than this." Her words were like a punch in the face, but Kirk Frost knew they were true. He had failed her in the worst manner conceivable. He couldn't change the past, and the path ahead appeared grim. As the gaps in their relationship widened and the emotional distance between them became more and more visible, Rashida began to withdraw, emotionally spending more time with her friends and family, trying to find comfort and strength in the ones who genuinely had her back. She was no longer the same lady who stood behind Kirk Frost through thick and thin. She had changed. Rashida's mental torment grew. The public ramifications continued to intensify. The media had gained wind of the incident, and articles were coming Kirk Frost's way. Hidden child was a popular topic, but people were beginning to demand more answers. Who was this child? How old were they? And why had Kirk kept them hidden for so long? These questions tormented Kirk, and the pressure from the media was intense. Everyone wanted answers, but no one was more eager for them than Rashida. In an unexpected turn of events, Jasmine Blue decided to go out again, stirring the fire even more. This time, she claimed to have knowledge on the child's mother, a lady who had supposedly been in a covert relationship with Kirk Frost for years. There's more to this tale. Jasmine intimated during a live interview that Kirk Frost has been leading a double life. Not only does he have this child, but there's a complete clandestine connection that no one knew about. Jasmine's allegations were bombshell, alleged that Kirk Frost had a long-term affair with the mother of his kid, and that Rashida had never known about it. She even hinted at a history when Kirk Frost had kept this connection concealed from everyone, even his closest friends. The story spread like wildfire, and fans went crazy trying to figure out what was true and what was simply more drama being stirred up by Jasmine. Is Jasmine telling? Fans inquired on social media. Could Kirk Frost really have been living a double life all this time? Rashida couldn't help but feel deceived on an even deeper level, as the suspense seemed to last forever. Kirk had concealed his child from her, but now she was learning about the suspected affair. The grief of this new revelation was almost too much for her to endure. It seemed like her entire life was falling around her piece by piece. Every time she felt she had a grasp on the problem, another terrible information came to light. "I don't even know if I can look at him anymore," Rashida told her sister privately. "This is about everything he's been hiding from me. He's lied to me for years, and now I'm questioning everything." Sister, who had been there through the ups and downs of Rashida's marriage, was at a loss for words. She knew Rashida was strong, but even the strongest woman had her breaking point. "Rashida, you have to take care," she softly replied. "You can't keep living like this. You need to think about what's best for you, for your own peace of mind." Rashida didn't know what to think anymore. She felt deceived, bewildered, and completely saddened. The guy she had trusted with her heart, the man she had loved and created a life with, turned out to be someone altogether different. The secrets, lies, and betrayals were all too much for her to stomach. However, while Rashida was struggling to cope with the truth, Kirk Frost was still attempting to salvage whatever was left of their relationship. He made many attempts to reach out to her by texting, phoning, and even showing up at her residence. Was met with frigid silence. Rashida wasn't ready to talk to him. She wasn't ready to confront the guy who had flipped her life upside down. "I just need you to understand, Rashida. Kirk Frost continued as one of their heated disputes. "I screwed up, I know I did, but I'm asking for a chance to make it right. I love you, and I want to solve this." Rashida shook her head, tears in her eyes. "You can't repair this, Kirk Frost. You can't heal what's broken between us. This is more than just you and me. It's about trust." And as the drama developed, viewers were left with more questions than answers. Would Kirk Frost ever be able to redeem himself? Would Rashida find a way to move on from the betrayal? Was this the final chapter in their marriage? The emotional roller coaster was far from finished, and with each new discovery, the stakes rose greater. The media continued to chronicle every twist and shift, and the public's reaction remained divided. Some admirers were still holding out hope for a reunion, while others thought that Rashida deserved better than Kirk Frost's deceit. The tension was the stillness between them was apparent, and no one knew where the narrative would lead next. After several unanswered calls and missed texts, Kirk Frost sat alone in his car parked just a few blocks from Rashida's store, expecting to get a glimpse of her, even if only from distance. But she didn't show, neither that day or the next. It was as if she withdrew into a shell created out of sadness, rage, and betrayal, and no one blamed her. Inside her house, Rasha was attempting to digest that her mother had come to stay with her temporarily to give support, but even that was tricky. "You ought to leave him for good," her mother remarked one evening over dinner. Rashida glanced up, exhausted and puffy from lack of sleep, wondering what else he might be hiding. "Nights, I don't know, Mom. Maybe everything. Maybe I don't know this man at all." Those statements stayed in the room long after they were uttered. Rashida, that was the scariest thing. Not the kid, not the treachery, but the unsettling concept that the guy she made a life with was a stranger wearing a familiar face, but the universe wasn't done stunning her. Just when Rashida was beginning to explore treatment and perhaps maybe separation, another bombshell struck. Jasmine Blue, who appeared ravenous for seeking attention or possibly retribution, posted a series of cryptic stories online. Screenshots of messages, old photos, and blurry documents began to flood her account. While most of it was messy and unclear, one image stood out. The claimed birth certificate showed Kirk Frost as the father, but the mother's name was not Jasmine. Fans were startled. Was this another child? Another lady? The internet burst with ideas. Who was this mystery mother? Had Kirk Frost fathered yet another kid behind Rashida's back? The pressure intensified, filled the comment sections of both Kirk Frost and Rashida's social media accounts. People wanted explanation, tossing up crazy ideas. Some accused Jasmine of forging the paper, while others thought that there had always been more to Kirk Frost's murky history than he let on. Meanwhile, Kirk Frost was spinning. He hadn't talked to Jasmine since the initial secret was discovered, and now this. Must get in touch with his legal team. If there was another child, he had to find out, but deep down anxiety struck him because he recalled that night. It had been almost a decade ago, in Miami, he was intoxicated, alone, and vulnerable at a music event, and he recalled the woman. Her name was Tamara, and she was a smart, ambitious promoter. Gorgeous, they had a quick affair, nothing more, or so he thought. Had she truly had his child and never told him, or was this Jasmine playing some twisted game? Kirk Frost sought out to Tamara. To his amazement, she said, "I was wondering when you called." Her voice was almost too calm. "Is this true?" Kirk Frost asked, skipping any small talk. "Is that child?" "Mine." Tamara paused. She answered gently, "Yes, I tried to tell you years ago, but you were married. When I saw you weren't interested, I went away." Kirk Frost's stomach fell. He had nothing else to say. The stillness stretched indefinitely until Tamara eventually broke it. "His name is Kevin, 12, and he's been asking about you." As if the earth under Kirk had given way, everything came apart again. Another child, another secret, another betrayal. Add to the list, and this time it wasn't only Rashida who would be affected, but Kevin, a youngster who had no idea his father was a prominent guy entangled in a controversy. Kirk Frost realized he had to inform Rashida not just about the kid, but about his previous sins entirely honestly and without excuses. He couldn't bear the weight of. Meanwhile, Rashida had already began filming her sequences for the forthcoming season of the program. Producers had received wind of the new developments and cameras rolling to catch every raw moment. She didn't hold back. First, it was Jasmine, now Tamara. She stated in a confessional, "How many more ladies are going to arrive out of the shadows? How many more children does Kirk Frost have? I'm not just sad, but also ashamed and outraged." Carly Red arrived at her house with a moan and tears in her eyes. "Girl, I don't even know what to say anymore." Carly said, "This is beyond anything I've seen. Kirk Frost is out here constructing a complete basketball team behind your back." Rashida managed a laugh, but it swiftly turned into a sob. "I just want peace, Carly. I just want the truth about everything. No more surprises." But the shocks didn't stop there. Within days of Kirk Frost reaching out to Tamara, there was chatter. Kirk Frost was officially dubbed a chronic cheater and a covered Family Guy in newspapers after pictures of Tamara and Kevin appeared. Rasheeda could not avoid it. Even her clients at the boutique murmured behind her back. Strangers looked when she went food shopping. The treachery had gone public, and her humiliation was now. Rasheeda fell down in a private time with her kids. "I've tried to keep our family together," she told them. "But I don't want you two thinking this is how love is supposed to." Her eldest son nodded solemnly. "We love you, Mom, and we've got your back no matter what." That meant more to her than Kirk Frost's apology. But Kirk Frost, despite everything, was not ready to lose up. He sought a meeting with Rashida without cameras or producers, just the two of them. She grudgingly consented. Met in a quiet park near their house where the air was heavy with awkward tension. "I'm not here to defend myself," Kirk Frost replied, eyes dropped. "I'm here to tell you the truth. The full truth. I have another child. His name is Kevin. He's 12 years old." "I didn't know until last week," but Rashida blinked as the words struck her like a blow. She stood there stunned. "I can't do this," she muttered. "I thought Jasmine was at rock bottom, Kirk Frost, but this is a whole other level. I know I've wounded you in aspects I can't solve, but he's my kid and he needs to know me." The moment hovered between them. On one side, a guy wanting to make amends. On the other, a woman, shattered into bits by recurrent betrayal. It wasn't just about forgiveness anymore. It was about what Rashida was ready to tolerate and how much more she could take before walking away for good. In stillness, the wind whispering through the trees, both of them knew that whatever happened next would change everything forever. Rashida sat on that cold park seat, looking forward, while Kirk Frost moved uncomfortably alongside her. The stillness between them wasn't the calm sort. It was dense, oppressive, and loud with things neither of them could say anymore. Kirk Frost had revealed everything at least what she knew about for now, but something inside Rashida wouldn't let her find closure. Not now, maybe never. She moved slowly toward him, her voice calm but piercing. "Do you realize that? Every time I forgave you, I lost a bit of myself." Kirk Frost's head slumped. He couldn't answer that honestly. He had spent years persuading himself he was sheltering her by hiding his faults. But now that everything was exposed, he knew the harm he'd done wasn't just to their relationship, but to her entire spirit. "I want you to meet Kevin," Kirk Frost stated slowly. "I don't want to hide him like I did before. He deserves a normal life, and you deserve to know him." Rasha let out a bitter chuckle. "You want me to meet the child you made while you were supposed to be building a future with me? He didn't ask for this." Kirk Frost responded softly. None of them did. And that was the part that struck worst, since Kirk Frost wasn't incorrect. The kids had no participation in the falsehoods. They were merely innocent results of his recklessness. Rashida was still not ready to enter that world, at least not just now. The scars were too raw, and the betrayal still bled under the surface. Over the next 3 days, Kirk Frost began posting carefully crafted remarks online, recognizing mistakes, apologizing without naming anyone, and attempting to contain the damage. However, it was too little too late. Fans saw straight through it, tore him apart, branding him as the greatest manipulator. Memes spread online criticizing his apologies and calling out his record of secrets and deception. Meanwhile, Love and Hip Hop producers had struck gold. The controversy had boosted ratings through the roof. They wanted more video, drama, and sadness. But Rashida wasn't playing along. "Not this time, I'm not a storyline," she declared angrily during a production meeting. "This is my life, and I'm not going to act my agony for views." But producers weren't letting go that easy. They began pursuing other cast members, spreading rumors and building up conflicts. Tamara, Kevin's mother, was unexpectedly invited to come on the program. She first rejected, but the money was appealing, and so was the thought of telling her kid the truth about his father on camera. She accepted on one condition: no manufactured drama, just honesty. When Kirk Frost found out, he was angry. "Isn't how I wanted him presented to the world," Kirk Frost yelled at producers. "He's a kid, not a headline," but it was already in motion. The cameras were rolling. Teasers were cut and fans were eating it up. Tamara and Kevin were set to walk into the spotlight, and there was no going back. Rashida was still suffering. She received a call from one of the producers, telling her that she should be present for the filming even if she didn't speak. After a lengthy pause, she said, "I'll think about it." When the day of the shoot arrived, it felt unreal. Kirk Frost was clearly concerned as he stood outside a little diner where the meeting was set. Tamara arrived first, holding Kevin's hand. He was tall for his age, calm, and had eyes that reminded Kirk Frost of his own childhood photographs. When their eyes connected, Kirk Frost froze. "Hi," Kevin began simply. "Hi," Kirk Frost said, his voice shaking. It was the first time they'd ever talked. The cameras got everything: awkward greetings, reluctant grins, lengthy moments. Tamara kept near, protective yet open. She prepared Kevin for this, but nothing could fully prepare a kid to meet the father he never knew existed. As they sat down, Kirk Frost gently opened up. "I didn't know," he answered. "I swear to you, Kevin, if I had known, I would have been there. I would have done everything differently." Kevin gazed at him for a long while before questioning why he didn't remain with my mom, a question so simple, honest, and yet so cutting. Kirk Frost hesitated. "I was married," he said, "and I made a lot of errors. But that wasn't about you. That was about me not being the guy I should have been." Kevin nodded, not entirely comprehending, but detecting the sadness in Kirk Frost's voice. Off camera, Rashida stood at a distance gazing through the window. She chose to attend even though she wasn't sure why. Maybe to see the boy. Maybe to see if Kirk Frost truly meant what he said. Maybe because a tiny broken part of her still wanted to believe things may get better, even if they never went back to what they were. As she watched Kirk Frost with Kevin, tears welled up in her eyes. Not because she forgiven him or wanted him back, but because she saw something genuine, something human, and she recalled that no matter how badly someone harmed you, if they were truly trying, they deserved a moment of grace. Did not mean reconciliation. When Kirk Frost subsequently approached her in the parking lot, she stood erect with her arms crossed. "You did good in there," she added. "He's a wonderful child." "Thank you for coming," Kirk Frost said. "I wasn't sure whether you'd come for me, but she emphasized that I did." Kirk Frost nodded, knowing what I had asked for. "Too many opportunities. I just hope someday you can see me trying instead of simply remembering." Rashida groaned. "We'll see, Kirk Frost, but we're not there yet. Maybe we never will be." With that, she walked away without looking back. After the season of the program ended filming, editors put together the most dramatic plot. Love and Hip Hop had fans excitedly awaited the premiere, while insiders whispered that Rashida may finally be going away for good. Her store was prospering, sons were growing, and for once she was selecting herself. Kirk Frost, on the other hand, was beginning anew, not only with Kevin, but with himself. Therapy sessions were less public, appearances, and more time with his children. Whether this would be enough to rehabilitate his reputation was still uncertain. This time, he wasn't attempting to build a narrative. He was just trying to be a better guy. As for Kevin's tale was only beginning, but it would forever be tied to a father he hardly knew in a world full of cameras and opinions. drama, and through it all, one thing remained clear: the truth, regardless of painful, always finds a way out. And sometimes it isn't the exposure, it's the stillness that follows that forces everyone to finally face who they truly are. And just like that, the truth that Kirk Frost tried so hard to conceal is now there for the entire world to see. A lady betrayed on national television, a ruined household, and a secret kid still trying to digest the rush of emotions, honest admissions, and the ongoing ramifications.